Hello, everyone. In a different video, I had posted a comment in regards to making what I know as SpruGoo. And the person that had posted the video asked if I would go ahead and do a video explaining what is and how to make SpruGoo using the Tamiya extra thin glue. Uh, Absolutely, do that and show you that here today. So a couple things that to start out with. First off, what is SpruGoo? It is this. So this is Tamiya Extra Thin that has then had sprue material cut up into it and allowed to melt down into the glue. It dissolves the styrene model when we're building it, and it allows the joints to be welded together. So this does the same job. It is actually melting the plastic down, and we end up getting this SpruGoo. So in this particular case, I happen to have a lot of white and, in this case, black bits of sprue that I've just chopped up. It really can be any color you want. It doesn't have to be just white. I had lots of gray from other models that I had used to initially make most of this. This bottle has now gotten a couple of bits of the black added into it. But it is just any sprue material can be melted down into SpruGoo. If you really wanted to have the same color, you could use the sprues from that particular model to be able to make a SpruGoo that's the same color. But typically, you're going to be putting this to the inside of your model where it's not going to end up being seen. And you shouldn't be using so much of it that it's dripping and gooping all over the place, because that can end up warping and damaging your model as it is. So where do I end up using that? If I show you on a submarine model that I'm working on, this is the interior of the submarine in the torpedo bay area, at the front of the sub. I'll bring this around to the back, and you can see a couple locations where I've actually used the SpruGoo for various purposes. To start with, I used the SpruGoo in the joints here on these four sections here, and that just helped to reinforce the beds that are inside this area, those bunks that are there in the back. I also used the SpruGoo down in this joint along here to help lock this back wall and the floor in place, and also down in here. It did the secondary job of being able to light block, help to seal up any gaps that were in those areas. Just experimenting and playing around with the SpruGoo. These dots that you see here are all ejector points, and those are just areas that I filled in to see how well it can fill those areas in. If I was actually concerned by them, I would go back and sand those down, but I really didn't need to, because it was just playing with it to see what it can do. For a model railroad application, where would I go about using it? On this little house that's here, I've got the basic walls all put together, has a frame in the bottom of the house to help support it. This model actually went together really well, but if you take a look right inside, if I can get it to show up, there it is. Right inside here, you can see this gap. So now, for the purposes of this model, I wouldn't even bother filling this in. but just to show you what the SpruGoo can do, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And since the way this model was designed, these little floor pieces sit slightly raised up. I could actually fill in from this side, or I could reach down and fill in from the top. Just for ease of seeing this on the camera, I'm going to go ahead and fill it in from the bottom here. So your bottle, the threads will get a little mucky. You have to clean it off once in a while. And as you can see, its thickness is going to change depending upon what kind of consistency you make it. If you want it really thick, you add more sprues in. If you want it thin, you add less sprues in, or you add more glue into it. And you can see this is, as it's dripping off of there, this is a relatively thick mix. So what I can do with this is just to paint this right on into that joint. And I'm just moving and manipulating the glue down into that joint. I'm actually pushing the bristles of the brush down into that joint as well to help seal that joint up. And you don't want to go crazy with it. Let's see if I can get it to show on the camera again. There's, in the very corner, there's still a spot that needs a little bit more glue. But I'm not going to go and just force some glue down into there. I'm actually holding it this way, allowing gravity to pull that glue down and fill that hole in naturally. And if it doesn't, after it's dried, I can always go back and add more. If you try and force it to do this and you're glopping it on, you're adding in solvent that can melt your plastic. So if you add in too much, you are going to end up warping and damaging your model. So you only want a small amount in there. In smaller areas, you can also use micro brushes. There's one. Okay, so I could certainly use a micro brush to get some of the glue into tinier areas, or if I'm needing to reach down inside a model, micro brushes are good too because they're going to give you that length. And of course, you can get micro brushes in different sizes, so depending upon your application, you can get it in different sizes. Now, as you use this up, you're going to be draining your bottle. So what do you do when you run out? Do you waste a whole nother bottle of glue to be able to make up some more SpruGoo? No. Take an existing bottle, whether it is a relatively full bottle like this one. This one's probably a little more than 3/4 full. And I'm going to transfer some of the glue from this bottle into my SpruGoo bottle. So I'm just going to take off my lid and just using either an eyedropper, this is a glass eyedropper, or a pipette that the solvent will not melt. Okay, so you do some testing yourself and figure out if the solvent's going to melt your pipette. If it does, don't use it. But a glass one, I can just go ahead and bring up some of the solvent and transfer that right on over into the bottle to slowly fill that up. And if I needed a thinner consistency, I can go ahead and add in my glue. Get my lids back onto these so they don't evaporate. And then just shake to mix. You will find that as this settles, you notice the color difference here, that darker gray versus this white you see on the bottom, this really light gray. As this sits, you will get some settling of the glue. I had already shaken some of this up to be able to do this demo. Clearly did not get all the liquid off, or all the SpruGoo off the bottom. So just need to continue to shake that and be able to mix all of that in. There are some other companies that do make other glues as well. This one's from Deluxe materials. They're Plastic Magic. And as you can see, it's for ABS, styrene, and plastic. Other glues cannot bond together. So this is potentially a different formula. I'm not a chemist. I don't know exactly how the liquid inside each of these is formulated, but you should be able to do the same process with other glues that are of the same kind of consistency as Tamiya Extra Thin. I know some modelers use straight MEK, and it is possible, I don't know, I've never tried it, but it is possible that straight MEK could be used to be able to create a very similar type of SpruGoo. So I hope that helps to clarify what SpruGoo is, how it works, and what you might potentially use it for to help reinforce corners, to help fix corners. Now this, I happen to notice just now, in fact, that one of these corners, yep, it's actually this one here, has actually come apart slightly. So I could actually get in right now with my SpruGoo. Let that drip off and get that right into that corner. You won't get the same kind of capillary action, but as you can see, that thins down and goes right into the joint quite nicely. And if I tip that up on its base, it will drain down that joint and help to reinforce it. So I thank you very much for watching. Please check out the other videos that I've been putting out for my train layout, along with other videos of things that I do. I like to scuba dive as well, and you'll see some other videos on my channel. So please check them out, and I hope that this video has been useful. Take care, everyone, and have yourselves all a good day.